What's going on, everyone? It's time for another documentary film review. Today, we're going to talk about a film called Capturing the Killer Nurse. This is a documentary on Charles Cullen, who is actually a nurse at a whole pile of hospitals in the U.S. And yeah, he basically poisoned a whole pile of people to death. And yeah, this is a documentary on how he uh, how he was able to get away with it and stuff, and how they took him down and everything. So yeah, it's a Netflix original. It was released sometime this year in 2022. I think it was actually released sometime this month, like early November. Anyways, it was directed by Tim Travers Hawkins, who also did like other documentaries like Persona, XY, Chelsea, 1000 Voices, Burn It Down, and The Invisible Picture Show. Um, yeah, so, yeah. What did I think of this documentary? Well, it's pretty standard. This is just like any other murder documentary, to be honest. Charles Cullen. So it's rare to hear about a killer nurse, and but there is other killers out there that are a little more prolific. At least in Britain and stuff, I know there's quite a few that actually try to do this. With they wait till someone's like basically in a coma almost, and then they give them like a weird shot of something and say it's something else, and then they die, and then they go back. People eventually start thinking it's odd and looking into it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, and then you get the trail going and stuff. It's pretty standard for a documentary. You hear the people that worked with them who think he's a really nice guy and everything, a little quiet, but then yeah, he could never have done this and all that nonsense. And then yeah, and then you get your detectives on there where they go, oh, we started looking into it, and then they start piecing the puzzle together, and then it goes basically beat by beat, as most documentaries do, on it. There wasn't very much interesting new type of uh, information to go on, besides it's a dude nurse, I guess. But I think it was more surprising how many people he did to get away with it. It was like 30 or 40. There's no accurate count, but at least that I think he got charged for like 20 of them or something, or 18 or something like that. And yeah, so, and he was very calm about it and everything like that, which is normal, to be honest, after hearing all these murder stuff. But yeah, so Capturing the Killer Nurse is basically a standard murder documentary. There's not much interesting to it. They have like the impact statements of the families, which is pretty much the same as any other murder documentary. And yeah, I thought it was just standard. It's still like interesting in some aspects of like what he used to inject for certain people and things like that, and how they were like fine and then died and stuff like that. That aspect was intriguing, but for the most part, I just thought it was a standard documentary, which kind of got a little boring at times, but it might just not be for me though. So, but I did just think it was pretty standard. So I'm gonna get Capturing the Killer Nurse a 2.5 out of 5. Nothing too substantial. It was still somewhat decent, but also this also has a dramatization of this whole documentary, basically case of there's a film that was made a month or so ago called The Good Nurse, which I haven't actually watched yet, but apparently it goes in deep on the retelling of this, and this is basically a documentary, and they're both on Netflix, released within a month. So yeah, but overall I just thought this was a standard documentary. So yeah, it was okay. But if it sounds like something you might be interested in, I'll link the trailer down below. Like always, also link down below is my Instagram. That's where I always post clips of films and review in the future on my story. I usually have the film title and a hashtag. Yeah, I usually had the film title and a hashtag and subgenre film and a hashtag, so you're aware of it. And also link down below is my Letterbox at Derek P Reviews. That's where I post my first star rating right after watching the film. So follow me on one of those two platforms, stay in loop with the channel. Like this video, share it to more people who are of it. Comment your opinions of the film down below if you have any, and also if you have any films or film franchises in any genre that you want to hear my opinions on in the future, comment those down below. I'll try to get to them as soon as I can, and if I can find them. Also, if there's any Netflix originals that you think I should check out, mention them down below too. And don't forget to subscribe, because hopefully we find something weird, obscure, and all that you probably never thought of checking out together. Also, so you hear my opinions on popular films coming out, somewhat like this, classic films, and reviews on other things as well. And don't forget to ring that bell, because I'm going to go into a more thriller found footage territory, I guess. Yeah, because I'm going to check out the last broadcast in the next review. But that's it for this one. Watch out for all those killer nurses out there, and I guess I'll see you all in the next review. So until then, cheers.